Hey everybody, welcome back. Last time we went through all of the Lego and that got us to the next stage, which according to my list, what I was going to do was build the workbench that is supposed to go here or here. After I got done going through all the Lego, I went up into the attic above the garage and found what I hope is all of the boxes of old video game and computer stuff, and got it down, and I've got it all piled up over there, and I've got to start sorting through it because I want to do one console at a time, but I know that I've got things scattered amongst different boxes. So what we're going to do today is go through those boxes, separate it out according to system, and then we can start going through and doing restorations on those systems after that. But before we get started going through that, before I switch the camera over and move the table and do that top-down view that we did in the second video, let me show you what it is we have to go through. Now, the first thing is all of these boxes that I've got piled up in front of the arcade cabinets. They are right in the way of that treadmill that is buried behind boxes right now. So that's going to be the first thing, is making a pathway by clearing these out. And then I also have to go through all of these boxes. I can't even get them all in frame. But what I have is I've got 18 of the U-Haul small size boxes that are full of video game stuff. There's about a half a dozen Bankers boxes. There's miscellaneous boxes and totes and just all sorts of stuff. And all of that needs to get relocated so I have more room to go through everything. And I've got to get that treadmill out of here because obviously I'm out of space. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is move things around so that I can get the tripod set up to shoot down into all of these boxes we're about to go through. And let's start looking at the toys. Okay, after some rearranging of tables so I can actually get to things, got our first box over here set up, got it to where we can see everything. And I know that these first boxes, basically we've got two things that I know are going to be in these boxes. There's going to be video game stuff and there's going to be computer stuff. I'm not ready to do the computer stuff yet, so first things first, I've got a bin over there and that will be for computer stuff, and then I'm probably going to have some stuff in here that doesn't belong in either. But let's grab some stuff out of here. Okay, so what we have here, this is the older version of the output to use a PC in an arcade cabinet. This is for wiring up controllers. This is a second one so that you could have 4 players, and a special video card that will do 15 kilohertz output, and all of the cables that go with that, and the drivers, it looks like. So these are going to go with the arcade stuff. This does not belong with this stuff. But I've got this, which I've had for quite a while, and I'm going to put all of this arcade stuff in with all this arcade stuff. So let's see what's in here. Look at that, all of my old World of Warcraft discs, other games. I am looking forward to messing around with these. Does anybody have a zip drive that I can use? Because I don't have one, but I do have discs. these go with my Atari. So these aren't even in the right spot. So I'm going to have to set those aside to go and put them with the Atari ST. But in any case, it is old computer stuff, so it can go in that bin over there. Check this out. This is a keyboard overlay to play the game Delta Force 2, so you could actually see what it is you needed to do. So this looks like it's more PC stuff other than the Hooters 3D glasses. Yeah, these are all game manuals for PC games, old ones. Same with these, manuals and discs for other games. Look, there's a Leisure Suit Larry in there. Yeah, we're gonna have fun, guys. Okay, this is all video game stuff. Disney Infinity times 2. And this is for the game SingStar headset. So we'll set this aside to go with electronic stuff because I don't know that it's necessarily just for gaming, but we'll put all of these in a gaming bin. These are going to go straight into the computer bin. My gaming keyboard, that is my favorite keyboard, saw that in a different video. I picked up 2 old keyboards because I've got a couple of old computers that I'm going to restore. So these are going to go straight to the computer bin as well. Okay, I think I know what this is. This is my original Vita with all of the games in there. So that needs to go into a special place, but it is definitely part of the video game stuff. Then we got this mother. Big, huge thing. Looks like I've actually got controllers in it. That's for one of the many Wiis that we'll probably find, but video game box. These are 2 old Atari joysticks. We're going to be messing with the Ataris, I think, first. So I'm going to set these aside because part of what we're doing is we're sorting these into not just video game box, computer box, but by system. And I know what these go to. So that's going to go into an area where we can get to it when I get to the 2600s. Protectors for a Vita. Maybe I should put it with the Vita. My original PSP. This is the 1001. I wonder if it has a charge. Absolutely not. It's been in here a long time, but this is my original. What else is stored in here? Well, there's a car charger, and oh, I forgot. I've got the PSP camera for that. I picked that up at a flea market. No, I picked this up at Thy Geekdom Con earlier this year. So it's tucked in here. There's a charger and some memory cards. So we'll put that aside and we will go through that later because that one is fun. My PS3. It is actually in here and I'm going to put it on the shelves behind me because that's where this boxed systems are going. This one I picked up as a Black Friday purchase when it was about a year old. my red PS4 Pro Spider-Man edition. I actually need to box this up. And the box for my PS5, which is in the other room. This is a fun story. I got this when they were really hard to find, and Anna needed to pick up some prescription glasses. And so we went to the mall where the optometrist was, and it's right next to a GameStop, and we're sitting there, and I see this line outside of the GameStop that is 2 doors down. And I walk over and say, what are you guys lining up for outside the gate? And they were selling the PS5s, and I had been looking for one, so I got in line, and I managed to be the 5th of 7 people that were able to pick up a PS5. So I'm going to, that empties out one more box. I'm going to set these aside for storage. I'm going to put the red PS4 in the PS4 box, and we'll get to a bin I see over there. Another bin of computer stuff. Stack of mouse pads. Need these. Another keyboard. This one causes a problem because this is a PlayStation keyboard. I'm going to put it with the computer stuff. These are fans and stuff for my old case. A bag of mice. Old school, new school, lots of mice. A huge bag of USB cables of various kinds. This is external hard drive stuff. Need to check on that stuff. USB floppy drive and a USB keypad. I use these with my laptop when needed. And apparently I have more than one. Anybody who has ever worked on computers has something like this. The bag or the bin or the container full of case screws of various kinds. Never leave home without it. And it looks like we're finally getting to some of the video game stuff. First up, another USB controller. We're going to put that in with the computer stuff. There we go. This is going to go into the PlayStation stuff. These are two, I think they're Gen Con 2. But I had 2 of these so I could play Time Crisis 2 on my PlayStation 2. So I'm going to put these in the PS2 box. Sega Saturn parts, so we'll put that in the Sega container. Okay, we've got some N64 stuff. This is a lot of the adapters, it looks like, for the Sega Genesis. Maybe the CD, Sega CD. GameCube. PlayStation. Looks like NES. Random Bluetooth controller. Yeah. Xbox. Xbox. Aftermarket Xbox. Oh, this is Xbox 360. This is Xbox. Sega Genesis. NES, GameCube, Wii. I have no idea what a Radio Shack TV scoreboard is. These are for the Sega Master System. Wii. An Atari joystick. NES controller that somebody clipped and turned into an ornament. Might be able to fix that. Sega. ColecoVision power supply. Hopefully this is a good one. So that clears out another bin. I need to make areas because as we go through stuff, we're going to be finding more things, and I'm trying to separate these out by the system. So I have to have at least a box or a container for every pile that we've set up here. So let's see what I can find. I had my PlayStation VR in the other room. Okay, reboxed. Okay, so we've got the Commodore 64 in here, so we can put this with the Commodore 64, and I think we'll just put this directly on the shelf. If I can find room. Okay, looks like we have 2 ColecoVisions and 1 expansion module number 1. I believe this is the one that lets you play Atari games, so cool. But this is all consolidated already. I'm gonna leave this as is until we're ready to work on Colecos. So, okay, what's in the box labeled office supplies? This is not a power cord for a Timex Sinclair 1000. This is definitely third party. Empty DS case. We might use that. This is the Timex Sinclair 1000 computer. We're going to talk about this in detail, but this is the first computer I ever bought for myself. I bought one of these used in a pawn shop, but we'll get into that when we check this one out, see if it works, see what we can do. We'll play with this for a while. We have a Game Gear. We have a Game Gear battery pack. We have a Game Genie for a Game Gear. We have the box for an AC adapter for a Game Gear. And another Game Gear. This appears to be an aftermarket battery for the Game Gear. It plugs in. It says right. I don't think I have. And there's the left. So these appear to be rechargeable. They have some weight to them. Maybe it's right from the back. Oh, there we go. So that one goes there. So big old battery packs with AC adapter. Neat. Or this monster. Empty, but I need this. I'm going to take this upstairs and put my second Vita in it. Empty, but I know I have a Game Boy Advance somewhere. That light bar. Looks like a battery pack for the Nomad, which we haven't seen yet. This is Nintendo. Got some manuals here. Hopefully I can find the games that go with these. I have a feeling that when somebody watches this, they're going to see that and be wanting to know where the hell it is. Oh, hey. There's the manual for those battery packs we just found. I know this came with the PSP. It says PSP right there. This is for an Intellivision controller, which we haven't seen yet, and I think this is the base plate off of a GameCube. So there is another box that has been sorted out. This is my first DS box, silver one, and I bought it at GameStop apparently. Yeah, the actual system is, I think, still over there, so just gonna put more things in the appropriate piles. This is a cassette carrying case that has been repurposed into a Game Boy case. And we have the original instructions for the Game Boy and Tetris that came with it with this. So I'm gonna save the foam and the manuals, but this is just nasty. It's gone. It's out of here. Oh, there's the silver Game Boy. Still has juice. I'll be darned. No game in it though. Okay, there's a Nintendo 64 power brick. Lots of Nintendo 64 power bricks. Got two Atari 5200 touchpads and another 5200 game, and that empties another box. Next box. We have a 45 tucked into a Nintendo Entertainment System. So I picked this up as a parts, so I'm looking forward to this. This is the second one. I got it for $20, so we'll set that aside in the Nintendo pile. I showed you guys the Jaguar before, so into the Atari pile. And a recent acquisition, this relatively dirty Atari 400 that I'm looking forward to trying out, because I remember wanting to have one of these when I was a kid and never did get one. And we've got these that go in there. Yeah. Now, this box was a Facebook Marketplace find. A complete Magnavox Odyssey 2, and most of the games, while they don't have the boxes, I did have a couple that had the boxes, but they all have the manual. So I'm gonna leave this. I think I've got some other Odyssey games in one of the other boxes, so this is good as is. We're just gonna put this over there and get to that on another video. Okay, we might be getting into some of the boxes that came out of the storage room that you guys saw in the first video, but let's find out. Okay. This appears to be all Atari stuff. I have no idea. Oh, wait, there, I remember something. Does it say Tandy on it? Don't know what this goes to, but here's another one. Atari, 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 Atari. Okay, we've got original PlayStation stuff. More original PlayStation stuff. More Atari stuff. A Dreamcast. Anything in there? No. This one might be Atari. This, maybe this goes to that thing over there. I don't know. Oh, that's a Sony. These are for, I believe that these are for the PS2 Slims. And those are probably PlayStation cables. Yeah, they've got the keyed ends on them, so those are all PlayStation 2 power cords. We have an original Xbox. I don't know whether this is my original or just a different one. We'll boot this up and find out eventually. And a Magnavox Mecha. Oh, there, that's what those remotes are to. Looks like it uses, geez, I don't even, UM2 times 5 batteries. But it's got, that's convenient. They tell you exactly what it needs to be to work. We'll probably find one of those adapters in there, but this will need to be cleaned up. This is your standard Pong type game. I honestly didn't know I had this. Cool. We'll check that out. This is gonna, yeah, the switch block seems to be out. This is gonna need to be torn apart and checked very carefully and cleaned up. Unfortunate that it's missing the battery cover, but it looks like there's some rust down in there. We'll have to deal with that. I wish I could read the model number. This is neat. Okay, next box. Pinball. I'll have to look this thing up. That's another one for cleaning up. Apparently I bought it at a yard sale or something. Okay, there is my, hopefully this can be cleaned up. Atari 7800. I do have the box for this. The box is in rough shape, but I do have a box for it. And let's see what we have here. That's an Atari. Okay, there's a Telegames. Another, I've got two 78, I didn't know I had two 7800s. Ah, the Sears Video Arcade. Okay, so I believe this is just another rebranded 2600. So that is a box of 2600s. So that's 4 in there. And back over here behind me, I've got at least one more. So cool. One of them looks in really good shape. That one looks pretty good from the top. Little wear and tear on the orange, but 2600s are the ones that I want to get started on first, I think. Another box I just labeled consoles. Okay. A PlayStation, original one. Black GameCube. NES that's in really good shape. Not a whole lot of discoloring on that. Another original Xbox. And a full Sega CD setup. Okay, what do we got here? We have some Dreamcast controllers. Lots more Atari controllers, paddles, joysticks. Not sure which Atari that's for. I think that might go to the 5200. Got some Nintendo 64 controllers. Two light guns, the gray and the orange. Power-based converter, cool. Manual for a fat PS2. I'm sure there's one in here somewhere. $5,200 controllers. Are these the 5200 or the 7800 controllers? I think these are the 78. Yeah, these are 7800 controllers because they don't have the keypads. I remember I looked this up. I think this allows you to play Sega Master System games on your Game Gear, which I also have the TV tuner. I thought I might have one of these. I'm kind of excited about this. AVN. This could be, yeah, this might be fun to play with. I'm looking forward to these two. Guitar Hero attachment for my DS. Game Boy Advance. These are Nintendo things. Oh, there's the controller for a TurboGrafx 16. Oh, there's the pick for that Guitar Hero game. Ah, there we go. Storage spot for that. And what is it? Haha, sparkly purple. there's some Game Gear games. This will be a fun restoration. Okay, most of the space is taken up by the Atari 5200. Oh, it looks like it got damaged. Crap. There's the TurboGrafx 16 to go with those that controller we found earlier. Okay, this is what the Intellivision controllers look like, and you just had this disc that you moved side to side. That's why people were buying these things and putting them in those controllers so you could actually, you know, use the darn things. So we got one speech module, Intellivision, Sears branded Intellivision. So we'll put those in the Intellivision area and put the Atari. Hopefully I can get a replacement for that cover. Okay, we've got ColecoVision trackball. That's rolling good. A ColecoVision adapter for 2600 games. An Atari 5200 trackball. Wow, look at the difference in the yellowing on those trackballs. Oh, a TI-99 computer. We'll have to put that with the computer stuff. And two more ColecoVisions. Next box. Okay, we've got a mixed bag here. PS2 Slim. I had this, printed it out, and this is when I had a switch box going for all the things. I'll probably reutilize this because I spent a lot of time printing that. One Wii. Another Wii. I might have had Critters get into this. No, I bought this used. Game is in there loose. That sucks. Somebody else had mice getting their stuff. And a Wii Draw tablet. So there's another box. All PlayStation. Okay, we've got more Game Boys. But tucked in there is a Sega Nomad. I was wondering where that went. Another Game Gear. Is this an original or a repro? I'm gonna say this is a repro because it said under license. Cool, I do have one of these, I wasn't sure. Okay, gotta be honest here, I have more Nintendos than I thought I did. There's a failed system. Yeah. Okay, Jaguar controller and a game. .3DS with some games. Some Game Boy SPs. The audio out PlayStation. I'm told this is highly sought after. We'll take a look and see later. Random Nintendo controller, random Xbox controller, Sega Saturn controller, and another Sega Saturn. SNES and controller. I think that's the first SNES I've found. 5200 controller. USB controller. Busted NDS XL. Hey everybody. Everything you've been watching was filmed about 2 weeks ago, and there is a lot that I filmed that has not made it into this video. I did the first rough cut and it was an hour and 40 minutes, which was just way too much. So I've cut all of that out. Mostly it was going through individual games for each of the systems, so I decided that what I will do is, rather than show all of that or maybe cut that out and put it in another video, when we get to those systems, when we're checking them out, restoring them, etc., we'll also go through the games that I have for that system. One of the things that has happened since filming everything else was Anna and I spent the weekend, well, we went up to New York City and went to Anime NYC. We went there for a couple of reasons, but one of the things I wanted to do while I was there was check and see if there was anybody selling old video game stuff, and I did find 2 places that were selling things. Now, when I was filming the previous video and I was going through boxes, I found the one single solitary Atari Lynx game that I picked up, and I have not had an Atari Lynx. So as I was filming, I said this: an Atari Lynx. Now, guys, if any of you know of an Atari Lynx for sale, please let me know, because it's one of the very few that I am missing. So I've got a game, I've got no system to play it on. Help me out, please. But luckily, while I was at Anime NYC, I did some asking around at one booth, then I found out about another booth, and I struck gold. I was finally able to find my Lynx. This, except for the Jaguar CD, which I have never seen in my entire life, completes my Atari collection. The guys that had this were awesome. They are Digital Delights. Find them. They not only had this Lynx for me at a price cheaper than I'd seen it at a previous convention, they were kind enough to give me the original carrying case for it and 2 games. So I now have a Lynx with 2 games. But while I was there, over in a case on their table, I saw something else that I had seen only one time before and passed on the opportunity to buy it. So this time I asked, hey, is that what I think it is? And they had the price that I was willing to pay. So I also came away with a Neo Geo Color Pocket. Now, I did not get a game for this, but it will boot up without a game in it and go to a menu screen where you can change the date and get your horoscope. So I do have this. Anybody has any games for it that you'd love for me to have, I would also love to have them, but I will probably wind up finding a special cartridge to go in here. What I am hoping to do next is build the workbench. I've got the long Thanksgiving weekend coming up. I'm hoping to get that built so I can start going through stuff, because as you saw, I've got a bunch of Atari 2600s that need cleaned, tested, and a buttload of games for those as well that also need to be cleaned and tested. But I did get a notification late last week that the Atari 2600 Plus that I ordered will be shipping the first week of December. So I'm really excited to be able to compare the 2600 Plus with original systems and trying out all the games, the 7800 games, and plus the 2600 games. So that I'm really excited about, and I really want to get that workbench built before that happens so I can do some good filming and show you guys everything that I have with the 2600 comparison and the 2600s, etc., etc., etc. One more thing. This is a new channel. I haven't really been promoting it anywhere, but it would really help me out if you're one of the subscribers. Like this video for me. Give it a thumbs up. Tell your friends. Get them to like and subscribe. And if you like what you're seeing, or if you think that I touched on something too briefly or you'd like to know more, leave a comment down there. I would love to talk more about it. We've got a lot of work to do. You saw all of the systems that I went through, and there is enough content for years going through each and every one of those. Let me know what it is that you would like to see. And also, if you would like to get in touch with me and you don't want to put it in public as a comment on one of the videos, then you can go ahead and send me an email at this address. So that about wraps up this video. All of the, I cut out over an hour worth of stuff, but we're going to get to that stuff later. I will see you next time when we're probably going to be talking about the workbench. And in the meantime, remember, it's not hoarding if it's cool shit. See you guys. Thank you for watching Station SLNH, Scruffy Looking Nerd Hoarder, the Internet. This concludes our broadcast day.